Hello. Hi. How are you guys doing? Happy Monday. So excited to be here with you guys today. I have a super busy week. I'm actually doing a retreat with my business coach later on this week. So I'm very excited, very pumped for that. But that means that I'm coming to you live on a Monday. So this is another question that I received via email from a corporate manager, and I'm going to be answering it on today's live. So I'm in a very flat organization. How do I advance my career in such a lean structure? Excellent question. This question is from Debbie. I'm so glad that you wrote. If you have questions that you want, I'd invite you to think about it this way. So think about, if I could have Stacy on the phone for 30 minutes, what would I ask her? And I want you to shoot that to me in an email and actually let me know what your questions are. And I will choose those questions to answer here directly on my Facebook Live. So here is my email address. I will pop it in the comments. Just ask yourself the question, if I could get on Stacy's calendar for 30 minutes, what would I ask her? So just to give you a quick overview of how I'm going to handle this question, the answer is basically the same as a hierarchical structure, except for in a flat organization, you have some unique benefits. So if this applies to you, I want you to continue listening if you feel like it's not very clear what that corporate ladder looks like at your organization. And if it doesn't apply to you directly because you're not in a flat organization, I also want you to continue listening, because I'm going to give you tips as to what you're probably missing and what you're not thinking about as clearly for your particular organizational structure. So who am I? I'm Stacy Mayer Coaching. I coach corporate managers to get promoted into senior level executive positions. I work for some of the world's largest and most prestigious technology companies, as well as the amazing humans who work inside them. And I am on a mission to get 1,000 managers promoted into senior executive leadership positions each and every year worldwide. I want to bring more diversity to the leadership table, and I'm so grateful that you are here with me on that mission. So going back to today's question about how do you get promoted in a flat structure, and I said that the answer is very similar to what you would do at a hierarchical structure, except for some added benefits. So the number one added benefit is that it's not as obvious what the end result is for you, right? And I think that the mistake that so many leaders make in their hierarchical organizations is that they think it's actually obvious what the end result is for them. So they think that what getting a promotion means is next level up, like their boss's job. And they're like, well, my boss isn't leaving anytime soon, so I'm just going to kind of wait it out and do the best job I can in the meantime. And then we'll kind of see what happens, right? So that's what most people do when they think about a promotion, right? They're not actually thinking about all of the possibilities. But if you work in a flat organization, you are forced to think about all of the possibilities. You can't just think about the next step up, because the next step up doesn't actually exist at your organization. So then what do you do instead? Well, as the old cliche says, you focus on the journey and not the destination. And that is what I recommend that all corporate managers do when they're looking at career growth and they're looking and thinking about their own professional development, is that they're always focusing on the journey and not the destination. So let's look at it in terms of weight loss. So I want to lose 20 pounds, okay? And I'm thinking about the destination and I'm motivating myself because I know that I am not there yet, that I want to lose 20 pounds. And so I'm going to say, I'm going to get on the scale and I'm going to say, am I closer to my goal, right? Am I closer to becoming vice president? Am I closer to losing 20 pounds? But you're constantly focusing on the destination and where you lack. When you focus on the journey, you say, okay, yes, I want to lose 20 pounds. but what's it going to take to actually get there? That's when you can start focusing on milestones. You can start to think about, okay, what are those steps along the way that are going to get me closer to my end goal, right? So when you're in a flat organization, the first thing that you have to do is you actually have to define for yourself what are those milestones of growth. And it may not be an end destination, right? What may end up happening, especially if you work at a startup and there's not a huge executive team, is it might end up being that you personally grow into that executive leadership position. There's no one ahead of you, right? There's no one above you. So you're going to even more so have to focus on what are those simple milestones along the way? What does growth look like for me? And how do I actually define that for myself? So that's the first piece, is that you're going to get super clear on the clarity of what is the vision, what kind of impact do I want to be making at my organization, regardless of the final destination. The second thing, and this is where it is also a benefit that you work in a flat structure, is because of communication. That's the second step of my promotion process. This is the same promotion process that I teach all of my clients in Promotion Accelerator 101 group coaching program. So this is actually what I teach every single person, is about how do they actually communicate their needs. And when you work in a flat structure, that communication is a given, right? So we open the door to communication. It's actually the way that a flat structure actually works, is because we overly communicate. Whereas when you have the top-down structure, you're actually making a lot of assumptions and things don't get communicated. So they think, oh, well, I'm supposed to do this because you're my boss, but not necessarily understanding why I'm supposed to do this and how you actually want to deliver it. So a huge benefit is that you can give yourself this opportunity to over communicate and to gather resources about what your particular needs and desires are, and what a promotion opportunity would look for you in this particular organization. And the third and final thing is that you're going to leverage your relationships. You're going to continue to leverage those relationships. In a flat structure, those relationships look like your peers, right? They need to know what you're working on. You can't take your peers for granted, because those peers are the ones that are going to rally behind you. Those peers are the ones who are actually going to be responsible for your next promotion. So if I was coaching a manager that worked in a top-down structure, I would tell them, no, don't forget about your leadership team, right? So don't forget about managing up to people so that they know what you're working on, right? So it's the same difference here. So if you do these three things, regardless of what type of corporate structure you're in, you get super clear on what the end goal is, but also what the journey looks like. What are those milestones that you need to put in place along the way to get you closer to that destination? The second thing is communication. Am I communicating? Do I have mentors? Am I having conversations about what those next steps look like, what my goals are, how I think I'm progressing towards those goals? And the third thing is am I actually leveraging my relationships? Am I building relationships? Do I have strong enough ties in the organization, both with peers or the leadership team or whoever that is that's going to help me get to that next level? If you do those three things, you will get promoted into a senior executive leadership position. And not only that, by focusing on the journey and not the destination, your chances of actually having success once you get there are even greater, because you will have already been doing the role that you want to be doing eventually. So speaking of already been doing the role that you want to be doing eventually, I am tackling all of this in my podcast series for the month of August. It's called Executive Ahead of Time. Each week, I'm going to be going through exactly what it's going to take for you to start stepping into that executive role now, before you actually get to your end destination. You can access that at Maximize Your Career is the name of my podcast, and I am typing it in here so that you can find it. It's at staceymayer.com/iTunes, or you can go to my website at staceymayer.com/podcast and learn all about it. But it gives you all the tools and all the steps that it's going to take to get you into not only that senior executive leadership position, but to start enjoying the job that you have now. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.